The Toronto Maple Leafs are getting ready for another season filled with expectations, key decisions, and moves that could change the direction of the team. On one hand, a veteran continues to surprise and show leadership both on and off the ice. On the other, behind-the-scenes rumors suggest the roster might not be completely set for the start of the campaign. Before we dive in, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any Leafs updates, because the next few weeks promise to be busy ones in Toronto. News 1. When John Tavares signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2018, the goal was clear: fulfill his dream of playing for his hometown team and bring Toronto back to the top of the NHL. He arrived as one of the most consistent centers in the league after 9 solid seasons with the New York Islanders, and joined a young and promising core featuring Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander. The quartet formed an offensive nucleus that promised to make the team a strong title contender. Since then, the Leafs have been a regular playoff presence but have yet to break through the second-round barrier, a hurdle that still separates Tavares and the franchise from their dream of lifting the Stanley Cup. Even without the collective success they hoped for, Tavares has maintained high individual performance. In 7 seasons with Toronto, he has recorded 3 campaigns with over 35 goals for above 70 points and an average close to a point per game. These numbers place him among the NHL's most productive centers in that period. Beyond scoring, he remains a key figure in face-off battles despite still playing at a high level. Play represents at 35. Tavares continues to be a reliable, productive, and disciplined player, proving that experience remains a decisive factor in the league. During the 2025 offseason, he surprised many by agreeing to a shorter, lower-value contract to prioritize the team's salary cap flexibility. The decision came right after Mitch Marner's departure, which required payroll adjustments. Tavares could have sought a larger deal elsewhere, but chose to stay in Toronto, reinforcing his commitment to the organization and its fans. Internally, the move was seen as an act of leadership. Even without wearing the C on his chest, Tavares remains one of the main voices in the locker room. After a below-expectation 2023-24 season, many believe his physical decline had begun. However, Tavares responded with one of his best performances in years. 38 goals, 36 assists, and 74 points in 75 games. In the playoffs, he scored 5 times and helped Toronto reach the second round again before being eliminated by the Florida Panthers. He regained his near point-per-game average and maintained strong 5-on-5 efficiency, silencing pessimistic predictions. Today, Tavares serves as a 1B center, sharing offensive duties with Austin Matthews. This allows Toronto to maintain 2 top scoring lines, making it harder for opposing defenses. While Matthews leads the main unit, Tavares anchors the second line alongside William Nylander and Bobby McMann. He maintains a face-off success rate above 56%, is a guaranteed presence on the power play, and averages around 18 to 19 minutes of ice time per game. Without Marner, he's expected to take on more creative responsibility during man-advantage situations, acting as a pivot for offensive rotations. Tavares' style of play has evolved. He no longer has the same speed as before, but compensates with positioning, vision, and puck control. His game is often compared to Joe Pavelski's, another veteran who adapted to the modern NHL pace. Like Pavelski, Tavares dominates the area around the net, using positioning to convert rebounds and short passes. His ability to protect the puck and control the tempo of plays remains among the best in the league, making him essential to Toronto's offensive system. For the 2025-26 season, expectations are that Tavares will maintain his technical leadership role, with more power play involvement and less reliance on speed. Projections indicate around 32 to 35 goals, 40 to 45 assists, and roughly 70 to 75 points, keeping him near a point-per-game pace. With Nylander and McMahon on his line, the trio has the potential to be one of the most productive in the league, even without the captain's title. Tavares remains one of the pillars of the Maple Leafs culture. His professionalism, work ethic, and conditioning serve as examples for the team. His new contract had a direct impact on roster stability, allowing Toronto to maintain depth and competitiveness without compromising the salary cap. He helped keep the team among the top contenders in the Eastern Conference. 7 years after his arrival, John Tavares is still chasing the same goal, leading the Maple Leafs to a Stanley Cup championship. He has overcome periods of pressure, criticism, and role adjustments, but remains one of the most productive and disciplined centers in the NHL. With offensive balance and experience, Toronto enters 2025-26 with renewed motivation and a strong core. If Tavares maintains the consistency he showed last season, the Leafs will remain among the favorites of the title. John Tavares has proven that he's still a key piece of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that experience, when managed wisely, continues to defeat time. And you, Leafs fans, do you believe this could finally be the season when the dream comes true? Share your thoughts in the comments, like the video, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses. News 2. The Toronto Maple Leafs are about to start another NHL season, and as usual, the atmosphere in Toronto is a mix of anticipation and uncertainty. While much of the city still has its eyes on the Toronto Blue Jays MLB campaign, the Leafs are preparing to reignite one of hockey's greatest rivalries on Wednesday night, when they face the Montreal Canadiens. It's the kind of game that revives the league's traditional spirit and serves as a gauge for what's to come. But there's a major difference this season's start. The team hitting the ice tomorrow might not be the same we see in the coming weeks. According to Elliotte Friedman, a Sportsnet insider and one of the most trusted NHL sources, the Maple Leafs are actively looking for a top-6 forward, someone capable of complementing the offensive core led by Austin Matthews, John Tavares, William Nylander, and company. The challenge is that top-6 caliber forwards rarely appear on the waiver market. This means that if General Manager Brad Treliving truly wants to strengthen the roster, it will likely have to be through a trade. Friedman notes that the team is evaluating short and medium-term options, possibly targeting players at the end of their contracts or underutilized talent on other teams with potential for immediate impact. There's still an internal alternative. Easton Cowan, the young forward, who had an excellent preseason and impressed with his pace, has yet to secure a spot on the main roster, but remains in the coaching staff's plans. If the team's offensive production falters in the first weeks, it wouldn't be surprising to see him called up quickly. Currently, according to TSN, the Leafs' forward combinations are, despite still playing at a high level, Austin Matthews represents a short-term, Bobby McMahon, John Tavares, William Nylander, Dakota Joshua, Max Domi, Nick Robertson, Stephen Lawrence, Nick Roy, Kaye Jarnkrok, with Sammy Blais as the immediate reserve. On paper, it's a balanced group, but uncertainties remain. Maxelli comes with a strong reputation as a playmaker, but still needs to prove consistency in a competitive environment like Toronto. Knies represents the energy and physicality needed to create space on the top line, which is essential for Matthews and Maxelli to produce offensively. On the second line, Tavares and Nylander maintain established chemistry, and Bobby McMahon serves as the complementary piece, a high-intensity forward, strong in puck battles, capable of generating chances near the opponent's net. The big question is whether this line has enough depth to sustain a long and physically demanding season. On defense, the picture is slightly more stable. Projected pairings are Jake McCabe, Chris Tanev, Morgan Reilly, Brandon Carlo, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Simon Benoit, with Philippe Myers as a reserve. The additions of Tanev and Carlo give the team what it lacked in recent seasons: defensive robustness and physical presence in their own zone. Both are defense-minded players, which should ease some of the burden on Reilly, who tend to participate more actively in offensive transitions. The defensive system also adopts a new structure. With Benoit and Ekman-Larsson on the third pairing, the team gains an interesting mix of experience and stability. Both are expected to play key minutes on the penalty kill, an area that needs significant improvement after an inconsistent season. In goal, Anthony Stolarz has been confirmed as a starter for the season opener, with Caden Primo serving as backup. The expectation is for Stolarz to establish himself, as Toronto opted for a cost-effective contract after years of uncertainty in the position. The goalie rotation will be closely monitored, especially considering the team's history of injuries and inconsistency in this area. From a management perspective, there is a delicate balance between immediate competitiveness and long-term planning. Toronto is in a window where it needs to capitalize on the peak years of Matthews, Nylander, and Tavares, without compromising flexibility for future reinforcements. The search for a top-6 forward shows that the front office recognizes this urgency. The first 10 games of the season are expected to serve as a laboratory for coach Sheldon Keefe to make adjustments. If the team starts strong, it will likely maintain the current structure until mid-November. But if offensive production is inconsistent, especially on secondary lines, a trade could happen sooner than expected. Toronto has one of the league's best offensive cores, but faces the same challenges always, turning talent into consistency. The game against the Canadiens is not just a replay of a historic rivalry. It's the first test for a team still searching for balance between strength, creativity, and tactical discipline. While Toronto's attention is split between baseball and hockey, the Maple Leafs enter a season that could redefine the franchise's future. The talent is there. The experience is there. What's missing is turning potential into achievements. And the first answer starts Wednesday night. So, Leafs fans, what do you think about these two situations? Does the veteran still have what it takes to lead the team to the Stanley Cup? And could the search for a new forward be the move that finally turns Toronto into a true contender? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you would do if you were in charge of the Leafs. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to follow all NHL analyses and updates. The season is just beginning, and Toronto is set to be one of the most talked about teams of the year.